Good morning. So today I am going to teach you conductivity of an electrolyte using experiments. So it is conductivity or specific conductance of an electrolyte. What is conductivity cell? Conductivity cell means, say, anode and cathode are connected. Anode and cathode are connected, and some electrolyte is used here. The electrolyte of which we are going to measure the conductivity. Okay, so here the electrolyte is used, filled. So this is electrolyte of which we are going to measure the specific conductance. Okay, and conductivity water is filled in this. This is conductivity water. What is conductivity water? Conductivity water means the water having specific conductance 0. What is conductivity water? Conductivity water is simply the water having value of specific conductance equal to 0. So I am writing here water having value of specific conductance equal to 0. Why we are using conductivity water in this case? Because we are going to measure specific conductance of the electrolyte used in this conductivity cell. And suppose in this conductivity cell, the water which we are using is having some specific conductance of its own. So along with the specific conductance of electrolyte, the specific conductance of water will be added. So we will not get the correct result, and so to avoid this we used conductivity water in this case. Conductivity water means water having value of specific conductance equal to 0, so that its specific conductance is not going to add with the specific conductance of the electrolyte. Also, one thing we know, specific conductance depends upon temperature. Okay, specific conductance, that is conductivity, depends upon temperature. Depends upon temperature. So to avoid the changes, because if it will be open, if the conductivity cell will be open, then temperature can be varied, and if temperature will be varied, then the value of conductivity is specific conductance or conductivity will be affected. So we are not going to get the correct specific conductance for this electrolyte. So for this we used to insulate this conductivity cell. So we are insulating this conductivity cell. We are insulating this, means we are making this as isolated system. We are making this as isolated system. Means we are making this thermostatic. We are making this thermostatic. Getting this? Or simply we are insulating. We are making this insulating, we are insulating this conductivity cell from the surrounding, means we are making this isolated. Okay. Why this isolation is done? To avoid temperature change. To avoid temperature change. Okay. So insulation is done. Now what to do? We have to measure, our target is to measure conductivity of the electrolyte which is used in this cell, in this conductivity cell. Okay. So we will use here some concept of physics, and you might have read this concept which is called as Wheatstone bridge, which is called as Wheatstone bridge in your physics. So what is this Wheatstone bridge? Say this is resistance R1, this is resistance R2, say this is resistance R3, R4, okay, say this is R4, and this one is resistance of R3. R1 resistance, R2 resistance, R3 resistance here, and it is R4 resistance. R4 resistance. So we have to calculate conductivity of the electrolyte used in the conductivity cell. So we are going to connect these terminals of R3 resistance with this conductivity cell. Okay. So say this is connected with this and this, like this. Means what? This resistance is of the resistance of this conductivity cell. Getting this? Okay. And this is Wheatstone bridge. Wheatstone bridge. And in this Wheatstone bridge there is one galvanometer. There is one galvanometer. Okay. In this section. Okay. And we are we can adjust the values of resistance. We can adjust the values of this R1, R2, and R4, so that the current flowing through this galvanometer will be 0. Getting me? We can adjust the resistances in the way such that the current passing through this branch, means through this galvanometer, will be 0. Okay. Then what happens? That condition when current through the galvanometer is 0 is called as balanced Wheatstone bridge. Is called as balanced Wheatstone bridge. Balanced Wheatstone bridge. And here we use one AC source. We use here one AC source. And you have to keep in mind here DC source is not used. DC source is not used. Source is not used. Why DC source is not used? Just to avoid deposition of ions. You know, AC source means what? AC means there is change in polarization. Change in polarization. Okay. So due to this change in polarization, deposition of ions will not take place. Suppose we are using DC source here, then what will happen? Then electrolysis will take place. Then electrolysis will take place. Means on the electrode, deposition of charge will take place, and deposition of ions will take place. And if ions will be deposited on the electrodes, then obviously we are not going to get the correct value of conductivity of the electrolyte. So that's why to avoid this we use here AC source. AC source means there will be change in polarization, and that's why deposition of ions will be not possible in this case. Getting me? Okay. And I told you we used to adjust the values of resistance in such a way that the current through this galvanometer becomes zero. And this stage, okay, is called as balanced Wheatstone bridge. This is called as balanced Wheatstone bridge when current through this galvanometer is zero. So this is called as balanced Wheatstone bridge. And there is in case of balanced Wheatstone bridge, what happens? R1 upon R2 becomes equal to R3 upon R4 when this happens at balanced Wheatstone bridge. R1 upon R2 becomes equal to R3 upon R4. So from here we can say R3 we are going to measure. This is R3. R3 is resistance of this electrolyte. Okay, we are going to measure. Okay. So from this we can measure the resistance of this electrolyte, and it will be equal to R3 is equal to R1 by R2 into R4. R1 by R2 multiplied by R4. This is what? This is resistance of the electrolyte. So once we have calculated the resistance of this electrolyte, then we are able to calculate the conductivity of this electrolyte. How? Because we know conductivity is equal to kappa is equal to 1 by R into L by A So this L by A we know. Okay, this is cell constant. We know this because we have given some distances there, L, and this is some area of the electrodes. So we know L, we know A. So L by A is known to us. R was not known to us. So R we have calculated here. Okay. So value of R is there. Now we can multiply this and we can get the value of specific conductance, that is conductivity of this electrolyte. So in this way we used to measure the specific conductance of an electrolyte experimentally. Okay. Now come to variation of conductance, conductivity, conductivity, molar conductivity, molar conductivity, equivalent conductivity, equivalent conductivity with dilution, with dilution. Getting the topic? It is variation of conductance. We are going to discuss the what happens with dilution. What happens with dilution? Okay, when dilution is performed, then what happens? What are the changes? Okay, which takes place in case of conductance in conductivity and in molar conductivity and in equivalent conductivity. So let's start with variation in conductance. Variation in conductance with dilution. What is dilution? Dilution means we are adding more and more water, means concentration is getting low, concentration is getting low, means more dilution means concentration is getting low. Okay, so what happens in case of conductance when we are increasing dilution, when we are adding more and more water to the electrolyte? Okay, so we will discuss this in cases of strong electrolyte and weak electrolytes. So say this is weak electrolytes, and this is strong electrolytes. In both cases, that is in weak electrolytes as well as strong electrolytes, on dilution conductance increases. Then I will give you the reason. So let us write down. In both cases, that is weak electrolytes as well as strong electrolytes, weak electrolytes as well as strong electrolytes, strong electrolytes the conductance increases with dilution. Okay, very important. Means if more will be the ions present, if more will be the ions present in the solution, then conductance will be more. So as we are adding more and more water, we are adding more and more water to weak electrolytes and strong electrolytes, then what happens? Let's discuss in case of weak electrolytes at first. So in case of weak electrolytes, what happens? On dilution, the degree of dissociation, of weak electrolyte increases in class 11th you have studied this. In case of weak electrolytes on dilution, what happens? The degree of dissociation. The degree of dissociation means alpha. Alpha increases on dilution. What is alpha? Alpha is degree of dissociation, and in case of weak electrolyte, alpha is nearly less than equal to 5% or 0.5. Okay. So as we add more and more water to weak electrolytes, then what happens? The dissociation gets increases. So if more and more dissociation will take place, means more number of ions will be there. More dissociation means what? More dissociation means more ions will be there. If more ions will be there, then this conductance will be increased. So why this conductance increases in case of dilution of weak electrolytes? The reason is on dilution the degree of dissociation alpha of weak electrolytes increases, and as the degree of dissociation increases, means more of the weak electrolyte gets dissociated, means more of the ions are present, okay, after dilution. And if more ions is there, so conductance will be more. What happens in case of strong electrolytes? I have written here, in both cases that is strong or weak, the conductance gets increases. So why in case of strong electrolytes conductance gets increases? Okay, let's try to understand. Say strong electrolyte, one example, it is salt NaCl. So initially this NaCl is present in form of NS plus and Cl minus. Okay. So there exists force of attraction FOA, force of attraction between this cation Na plus and anion Cl minus. And due to this, these two ions are not capable of moving freely, means there exists force of attraction between cation and anion. So these have been separated, means dissociation have taken place, okay, and after dissociation it has converted into Na plus and Cl minus. But still, since there is a very less distance between these two ions, there exists force of attraction between them, and due to this mobility of ions is less. Due to this mobility of ions is less. But as we are diluting it, means we are adding water. You know, water is having highest value of dielectric constant among all the solvent. Water is having highest value of dielectric constant, among all the solvents. So because of this, means water is having highest value of dielectric constant, and it is around 80. For water, value of dielectric constant is 80. So due to this dielectric constant, and there is one more rule, okay, more the this dielectric constant means dielectric constant of solvent, okay, is inversely proportional to force of attraction, FOA of ions, or between the oppositely charged ion, means more will be the dielectric constant of the solvent, less will be the force of attraction between the ions. So we are dissolving more and more water, we are giving more and more water, and more water is having highest dielectric constant value. And there is one rule, dielectric constant is inversely proportional to the force of attraction between the ions. So if we are giving more and more water, then what is happening here? Due to high value of dielectric constant of water, this Na plus Cl minus is getting separated. Means force of attraction between this Na plus and Cl minus is getting reduced. Means now these Na plus and Cl minus are separated by some more distance. Means if they are separated by some more distance, so they are free to move. Means mobility increases. Mobility of ions increases. So as the mobility of ions increases, means now ions can move more freely as compared to previous case. Means on dilution of strong electrolytes, the ions can move freely. Okay, so conductance gets increases. So that's why this is the reason I told you, on increasing dilution of weak electrolyte as well as strong electrolytes, the conductance increases. Okay, and I gave you the reason in case of weak electrolytes why this happen, and in case of strong electrolyte why this happen. But the we say increase in the conductance will be more in case of weak electrolytes. Okay, this is the conductance on dilution is more in case of weak electrolytes, as compared to strong electrolytes. Getting the reason? In case of weak electrolytes, what happens? This alpha degree of dissociation increases. Means alpha increases means what? Means more dissociation takes place. And if more dissociation takes place, means more ions will be present. And if more ions will be present, then conductance will be more. Due to this more ions, more conductance will be there. This is in case of what? This is in case of weak electrolyte. Dilution of weak electrolyte. But in case of strong electrolyte, I told you, alpha remains same. Alpha in case of strong electrolyte is approximately 100%. Means 100% dissociation takes place in case of strong electrolytes. So in alpha there is no change. So the only change is initially the oppositely charged ions, okay, of the electrolytes were closer to each other. But on dilution, what happens? Due to the high value of dielectric constant of water, this distance, okay, gets, means the separation between Na plus and Cl minus increases. The separation between Na plus and Cl minus increases. Now, if the separation increases, means force of attraction between these two decreases. So due to this, what happens? Mobility gets increases. Mobility of ions increases. And if mobility of ions increases, then conductance increases. Getting this? Okay. Now come to what will be effect of dilution on conductivity or specific conductance. Okay. So it is variation of conductivity with dilution. What is this conductivity? This conductivity is defined as conductance due to the conductance due to all the ions present in 1 ml of the electrolytic solution. Do you remember? This is definition of conductivity or specific conductance. What is this? This is the conductance due to all the ions. Conductance due to all the ions present in 1 ml of the electrolytic solution. Getting me? So what are we going to change? We are going to add more and more water. We are going to add more and more water. So if we will add more and more water to the electrolyte, then what will happen? Then on dilution, volume of the electrolytic solution will increase. Volume of the electrolytic solution will increase. Okay. So if volume will increase, then we can say density of ions will be decreased. Density of ions per ml. Density of ions per ml will decrease. Getting this or not? I told you on dilution, volume of the electrolytic solution will increase. Obvious. You are adding water, so volume of electrolytic solution will increase. So as the volume of electrolytic solution increase, means density of ions per ml will decrease. So if in 1 ml the density or number of ions will decrease, in 1 ml of electrolytic solution the number of ions will decrease, means what? Means this conductivity will decrease, because what is the definition of conductivity? The definition of conductivity is the conductance due to all the ions present in 1 ml of electrolytic solution. So initially in 1 ml of the solution, electrolytic solution, there were more ions present. Now you have added water, okay. So by adding water, what will happen? By adding water, volume of the electrolytic solution increased, and due to this the density of ions per ml got decreased, and due to this what happened? Due to this conductivity got decreased with dilution. So right here, on dilution the conductivity, that is kappa, decreases. On dilution the conductivity, that is kappa, of electrolytic solution decreases. Of electrolytic solution decreases. Okay. Now come to, and this decrease is seen in both cases, means in case of weak electrolytes as well as strong electrolytes. In both cases, okay, irrespective of weak electrolyte and strong electrolyte, if dilution will be taking place, okay, if dilution is taking place, then if it is weak electrolyte or strong electrolyte, the conductivity will decrease. Now come to variation of molar conductivity and equivalent conductivity with dilution. So it is variation of molar conductivity and equivalent conductivity with dilution. So what will happen on dilution, on molar conductivity and equivalent conductivity? So what is molar conductivity? Molar conductivity is what? The conductance due to all the ions present in that volume of electrolytic solution which contains 1 mole of the ions. Getting the definition? Okay. Formula of molar conductivity. Molar conductivity, lambda m is equal to what? Kappa into 1000 upon molarity. 1000 upon molarity. And what is equivalent conductivity? Lambda E, equivalent conductivity, lambda E, it is kappa into 1000 by normality. Do you remember I have told you about molar conductivity is equal to kappa into 1000 by molarity, and equivalent conductivity is equal to kappa into 1000 by normality. So we have discussed one thing. On dilution, conductivity decreases. Just before this we have discussed, on dilution conductivity decreases, means conductivity is kappa. So on dilution this kappa K will decrease. But in this case two governing factors are there. One is this kappa and other is this molarity. Okay, molar conductivity is governed by two factors, this kappa and molarity. In the same way, equivalent conductivity is governed by kappa and normality. So kappa in both cases will decrease. Kappa in both cases will decrease on dilution. This we have discussed. What about this molarity? What is molarity? Molarity is inversely proportional to volume, and normality is also inversely proportional to volume. So if molarity is inversely proportional to volume, so you are diluting the solution, means you are adding more and more water, means if you are adding more and more water, then volume is increasing. So if volume will increase, then molarity will decrease. In the same way, if you are adding more and more water, means you are diluting, means volume will increase, means normality will decrease. So on dilution, what will happen? On dilution, molarity will increase. On dilution, normality will increase. Sorry, decrease. Okay, both are inversely proportional. So molarity will decrease and normality will decrease. So if molarity will decrease, molarity is placed in the denominator, means this molar conductivity will increase. Means two factors are acting here. One is this kappa and other is this molarity. So kappa is decreasing, and molarity is also decreasing. But since this is placed in the denominator, so what? So because of this, if it is decreasing, means this will be increasing. Okay. So this kappa shows molar conductivity is decreasing. And this molarity shows this molar conductivity is increasing. Are you getting this? Okay. Molarity dominates. Effect of molarity dominates over this kappa. And what happens? Net effect is molar conductivity increases with dilution. So what is net effect? Net effect is molar conductivity increases with dilution. Molar conductivity increases with dilution. Getting this? Same case with this equivalent conductivity. This kappa is decreasing. So by looking this kappa, we can say this equivalent conductivity is decreasing. But as normality is decreasing, this equivalent conductivity is increasing, and this is dominating over this kappa. So again in this case what happens? Equivalent conductivity increases. On dilution. Okay. So we have discussed four things: conductance, conductivity, molar conductivity, and equivalent conductivity. So on dilution, conductance increases, conductivity decreases, molar conductivity lambda m and equivalent conductivity lambda e both increases. So keep it in mind. On dilution, what happens? On dilution, conductance increases, conductivity decreases, and molar conductivity and equivalent conductivity increases. Okay. Okay, thank you. We will be discussing some more things. Okay, in next lecture. Okay.